Joined now in the studio, very excited to have the Veer Union with us. Guys, thanks for stopping by out here in our little cornfield we call the Springfield, Illinois QLZ Studios.
Very, very happy to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yes.
Awesome. And last night you guys played in St. Louis. Said it was a really good experience for you guys as well, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. Great crowd. Great crowd. And
energy.
We played the Firebird, which awesome venue. Awesome little venue. Great sound.
Amazing
one
sound.
One of the best sounding venues definitely we played across America.
And it's interesting, we were talking off air, you said sometimes you judge what day it is by the crowd reaction. You can actually tell a difference between a weekend crowd and a weekday crowd?
For sure.
Okay.
For sure. I always give props, though. I will say that last night, it felt like a weekend crowd.
It really did.
Was,
yeah, it really did.
Yeah.
There's definitely some people feeling it this morning.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Sunday is always a rough one. I feel bad for anybody that's, just pounding down the shots and are prepared to start their Monday morning hungover. Yeah. That's awesome.
Now, on the right foot. Yeah.
Left, that is.
Now, do you guys obviously probably prefer those amped up crowds? Does it ever get to the point, though, where you're like, all right, this guy right here may have had a little bit too much, and now he's kind of bothering the show? You ever have to deal with that at all?
What do you mean, like a heckler? You mean?
Yeah,
like songs?
like one of those guys.
Do you remember that? Was it like Ohio? Well, I hate to say it, but there was that random black guy.
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
That was Tulsa.
Tulsa.
That's when we were afraid of the tornadoes.
Yes, right.
That's right.
Yeah, the whole time, we were having technical difficulties setting up. And
okay.
The guy, what was he saying? He's like, yeah, come on, it was so quiet. We're in the middle, and it went on and on, probably for 20 minutes. And I finally had to say to the guy, I'm like, listen to me, I've got a black voice too, man. I sound just like you. And he kind of looked at me and kind of canceled it out. And he was kind of like, yeah, you do. You do have a really loud voice, just like me. And then he finally stopped.
Letting him go for 20 minutes, that's got to be your Canadian background, just being way too nice.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And Danny, our new drummer, he's from Jersey, and so yeah, exactly.
How does that work?
Sorry. I was just gonna say once the Canadian side is kind of tapped out, we were like, we have to actually you need to go Jersey on that guy. It's actually a term.
Jersey.
Yeah.
If there's music gods to match, if there's any kind of music gods out there to matchmake people, Jersey people are the opposite of Canadians, like in the form that, we're very abrasive at times and obnoxious and in your face, and we're not afraid to hesitate with what we're thinking.
Right.
And Canadians tread softly, they respect humans, it's a good match because I'm learning a lot from their end.
Okay.
And it helps me, I think I might live past 40 now.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about technology and the role it's playing in music today. I know, Crispin, you've talked before about people downloading music and everything else, and I feel it's kind of a double-edged sword, where it's a way to get your music out to people quickly, but the same token, sometimes it's hard to stop them from getting it illegally and not realizing they're taken away from the band's pocketbook.
This is true. And there's also another side to this sword, if that's even possible, which is one of the problems I'm thinking right now is the fact that anybody can kind of do it.
Right.
Anybody that's got a computer.
Yeah.
So anybody that can do it, unfortunately, is doing it now.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think that's one of the problems. But also the other side to that coin is the fact that now it's becoming, especially for rock, I think that the cream is rising to the top because, only the really, really good bands that can go out there and perform and play. It's all about the live show now,
right.
And if you're lucky enough to get out there and tour, which we are very, very, grateful to be out on, on this Trap tour right now. It's been an amazing tour, but I think that a lot of it has to do with, being able to prove that you're a real band. And there's too many people that are out there that are just kind of doing it because they think it's cool, and it's. Those are the people that are making it tougher for the people that are real bands.
Right.
The bands that are real bands.
And you guys prove that. I mean, we got the acoustic performance, you guys are going to be doing for us. And the harmonies you guys have, I just feel like anymore, like you said, someone can just set up a studio in their house and they just rely so much on the processing to make them sound good. That's got to be disheartening for a band working hard like you guys, but that's something that kind of sets you apart, doesn't it?
I think that's kind of reaffirms my point, which is, a lot of these bands that go into the studio, I mean, anybody that's got auto-tune and a guitar can literally, you can make a record with a computer. So, but the thing is once that band gets out on tour and then they listen to them live, you know, and even worse is like they've got processing for live now.
Oh, yeah.
But you can tell, you
Yeah,
know,
right.
and it's becoming a household, you know, the same way everybody knows who T-Pain is, and they know what
Right.
you know, they know what autotune is. And that's a lot of the reason why, like, very cool bands like Pretty Reckless and, you know, even Rival Sons. What's another we played with them the other day, Crowbot.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
Crowbot's
a lot of
killer.
like retroactive bands that you know, it's very raw sounding. Like, there's a reason why that's coming back. It's because people are sick of that overprocessed sound.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think that I think it's actually a good thing in some ways. Technology is, just like you said, it's always a double-edged sword.
And one of the nice things about technology too, you guys were able to release an EP via Kickstarter.
Yeah.
I mean, how great is that for a band now to be able to kind of crowdfund their own album?
Absolutely, there's no question. I mean, without Kickstarter, I mean, we wouldn't be here right now. We wouldn't
Really?
be on tour. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
So.
Yeah, because you guys take me through the major label experience too, because I've heard so many different stories from bands. Some bands, you know, say it was a good experience. Now I know what not to do in the industry. How was your experience with a major label? Because I feel like sometimes they try to dictate what your creative process should be.
Well, I think you nailed it. To begin with, it was amazing.
Okay.
You know, we were really lucky because it was, again, a double-edged sword. We were really lucky because we signed with Universal, so we had all the power of Universal's team, but we were on Universal Motown. So Motown, they didn't know a lot about rock.
Okay, yeah.
Which was good at the beginning because they didn't even come to the studio. Most of the time, their A&R rep sits in the studio and he listens to every single thing, and then he starts dictating what's going on. We said, we're going to make this record. We're going to do it here. And they came in, they listened to the record on the very last day, and they said, it's awesome. They love it. Boom. And it was like, wow. We actually made our own record.
That's
you know
awesome.
What I mean? Instead of most labels, they hire writers.
Right.
And they put you in a room, and you end up not being the band that you started to be.
Right.
So luckily, you know, for me, I've never had to have that experience. You know,
Okay.
The people that I've worked with, I wanted to work with. Now, the double-edged sword was we went into then we started the process of marketing the record and promoting it.
Right.
And they wanted to release what I knew was the worst song that I've ever written in my life as the first single. And I fought and I fought and I fought the label, and they finally we finally tested it out, the song that they wanted to go, which was Youth Yesterday, and the song that I wanted to go with was Seasons.
Okay.
Radio like Seasons. So we went with Seasons, and it did well.
Right.
Then this is where it all wraps up. This is where it goes bad. Then they said, okay, we're going to take it from here. You guys did well with Seasons, but we're going to take it from here. We're going to make the creative decisions. And they were like, Youth Yesterday is the next song. I'm like, dude, it's the worst song I've ever written. Like,
wow.
Let's not do that.
And the fact that you were honest enough to tell that, I mean, a lot of bands just be like, all right, I'm major label now, just go with it. No. You know, the fact that you knew that and was telling that to them, that's a testament to you right there.
Well, unfortunately, no matter whether it's a testament or not, it's you know, when a bad decision gets made, the worst part is on a major label, if it doesn't sell what it was supposed to sell, it doesn't matter who made the decision.
Right.
So we're the ones who had to pay because they just have another number. They're like, okay, number 76777, you are up. You know,
right? Yeah.
So that's the unfortunate reality with major labels. But now the thing is the rock music industry has changed a little bit. Mm-hmm. A lot of the majors are spending most of their time in the pop world. So kind of a lot of rock bands are starting to heal because there's a lot of really good indie labels that are coming in that are taking over for rock. So I think that bands are becoming a lot more who the bands are. So which is kind of good. So
yeah, it is.
I think there's a double-edged sword for everything that's going on in the music industry right now. But for us, we're just one of those bands that are just really happy to be doing it because most bands have had to,
gone away.
They've gone away.